Welcome to part 3 in the Ableton Live's 5-part tutorial series. This week we're going to be taking a detailed look at the arrangement view. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, and welcome to Distinct Mastering. My name is Freddie. I'm a mastering engineer, producer, DJ, and president of Sleeping Giant Music. For over 2 decades, I've helped artists grow their careers, and now I'm here to help you with your music production skills. If you'd like a free stereo mastered sample from me, be sure to check the link below in my description. Now let's take a detailed look at Ableton Live's arrangement view. Hey everyone, alright, we're back. Today we're going to be talking about the Ableton arrangement view. And if you caught my video from last week on the session view, I'll leave you a link up above. We made this quick little quirky drum beat. It wasn't supposed to be perfect. And I do want to preface this video by stating I'm not here to teach you how to use Ableton, but more so just the concepts and getting around. I've had a lot of friends asking me about Ableton Live, and some people I know have not used Session View. So if you missed last week's video, I suggest you do check that out. Now, getting into the arrangement view, a lot of people do like to work on this side. This is your traditional DAWs timeline. And, you know, a lot of people, I'm just going to minimize these. A lot of people like to drag and drop audio and just work this fashion. I do as well. You know, this is a great way to work. You can just kind of take your kick drum and drop it right in. If you do like to work this way, I do want to denote a very important Ableton setting. If you go here to your preferences and you click on Record, Warp, Launch, there's an option here to create fades on clip edges. You need to turn this off. By default, it is on. If you do leave it on, it's going to put a little fade at the beginning and the end when you drop these clips in. And you're going to lose some of the attack transients of your sound. So make sure you turn that off. It is kind of finicky too. I do notice when you turn it on and off, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I do know it's something that I recommend that you turn off. So let's say that you are in this view and, you know, we made this beat over here. So the concept of session view is then to transfer it over to the arrangement view. So if you don't like to work this way, you can literally just take what we did and hit record here and then play. And look what happens. Now this thing is transferring over to this side. And so let's say at the 9th bar, I want to go into the next lane here of loops where it adds that open hi-hat. And let's just go ahead and record this, and then here at the next measure, I'm going to go ahead and bring in this next loop. And I'm not really mixing here. Like I said, this was just for the purpose of this video, so please don't mind the sound quality of this track right now. Okay, stop. So we went overshot it. We'll go ahead and delete this extra space, this extra edge. And now you see that this is grayed out. We just need to use this back to arrangement button here, and it takes us right to the arrangement view with everything now colored up. And from there, you get your typical arrangement style. You know, I could select and slice this out with a Command E, hit 0 to turn it off. You don't even have to use Command E. You could just literally, let me undo that. You can just hit 0 and it'll slice it and turn it off for you. Maybe I want this kick drum out. You know, you get all the basic options of the typical arrangement view. If you wanted to use some automation, you have that here as well. So, you know, here's track volume, track panning, speaker on. Now, one tip that I will give that I often use is when using automation, if you automate this sound, for example, let's automate this loop right here. I'm going to select and hold the shift and just drop this down. And you see, now it just went way down in volume. Problem is that if I want to adjust the volume of the track overall, I don't have that ability anymore. And if I do, now the automation has been grayed out and this lit up. This is the re-enable automation button. So if I re-enable it, it goes back to the state of what the automation is. A cool trick that I like to use, and I'm going to go ahead and just undo that. I like to throw a utility on. And what you could do is you can automate the gain of the utility, therefore giving you the ability to still control the volume here. So that's just a jewel for your crown when using the arrangement view and with using automation. Now, the arrangement view is just your typical DAW timeline editor. You know, you have your sends and returns here where you can send something over to reverb. Let's say I want to send, you know, this clap over to my reverb. And these are standard reverb and delay by default, but you could change those out and use whatever you prefer. I have a bunch of my favorite send and return effects on my templates that I use. And one more cool trick that I like to use is this track delay, which I talked about in the last video in session view. The track delay gives you a little millisecond delay. You could also change that here to samples, but this gives you the option to just kind of delay, push forward or back the track a little bit. And it's a great tool. I mean, it's not on by default, it's hidden. So I recommend turning that on. And you have the same browser here. You could, you drop your audio effects here, just like in the session view. If you have your instruments or any effects, they're going to show up here. If you click on the clip, it's going to change over to the clip view. You can do any of your clip automation. And so Ableton is a very robust program in that way. It's very unique in the way it functions. And that was the purpose of this video, to show you some of the uniqueness of this program. And that's a detailed look at Ableton Live's arrangement view. If you have any questions about the arrangement view, be sure to drop a comment down below. If we've never worked together before and you'd like a free stereo mastered sample from me, be sure to check the link below in my description. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and the bell notification will keep you up to date. Thanks again. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and have a great day.